Sadguru Maharaj ki. Blessings of our beloved Guru Maharaj, Maharanyam Sri Muralidhara Swamiji, and by the grace of the divine couple, Sri Radha Krishna Yugala Sarkar, we are discussing something which is very close to the heart of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. We are talking about Dharma. And the Dharma is something close to Bhagavan because Bhagavan himself says, whenever there is a little decline in Dharma, I dissent. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Abhyudya. To make sure that Dharma is in its correct position, in its correct stature in the society, I dissent all the time, he says, whenever there is a need. So when we all say Dasavatara, etc., it doesn't mean only there are 10 avatars. To this day, Bhagavan keeps descending. Only he does not descend as Bhagavan. He descends in form of Acharya Purushas. When we say they are an amsa or a portion of Bhagavan, portion is no different from whole. Na? So they are also Bhagavat Surupam only. All the Acharya Purushas, all the great teachers are all embodiments of divinity only. That is the love Bhagavan has for Dharma. And during Mahabharata time, Dharma, the Lord of Dharma himself took a form in form of Yudhishthira. You all know that, right? Dharmaputra is called. Putrana does not mean son, it means amsam. It means he is a particle or a portion of that principle of Dharma. And the 5 Pandavas came, all of them are very divine children. But Bhagavan had special love towards our Yudhishthira because he always used to address Yudhishthira as Anna. He used to address Yudhishthira as the elder brother, the Lord of the universe, you see. And the love he had for Dharma is shown in Mahabharata in form of the love Krishna had for Yudhishthira. Whenever he goes to Yudhishthira, he will immediately do pranams to Yudhishthira. And then he will do namaste to Bhima and embrace our Arjuna, allow Nakula and Sahadeva to fall at his feet. It is the protocol when Krishna goes and meets Pandavas. And once Yudhishthira was discussing what to do, the next steps, it was a very critical juncture for all the Pandavas. They were already over with the 12 years of Vanavasam and 1 year in hiding called Ajñātavāsam. Ajñāta means in hiding. And they did that Ajñātavāsa in a small country called Viratam. And in Mahabharata, that whole chapter is called Virata Parva. And so now Duryodhana is very clear that I am not going to give them even a smallest amount of land. He is very clear. Our Dharmaputra now wants to send somebody as an emissary to see if there is a possibility for a peace. You see, it is called Nyayam. There are 4 Nyayas in our Sanatana Dharma. When there is a conflict, the first step is negotiation and talks. It's called Samam. Next, you would like to give something to make sure that you give up something so that a big war can be averted and a big loss can be averted by giving up or sacrificing a small loss. I think in chess it's called gambit, I guess. So the next Nyaya is called Dana. And the third Nyaya is to avert a war of big proportions, create a division among the enemies by politics so that war can be averted. It's called Bheda. Bhedam, creating a split in the opposition ranks, so that they would not have the strength to come and fight us. And if all these 3 fail, only then punitive action or the action of going to war is mandated. So nobody jumps into war. Hindus are peace-loving, but they are not war-weary, you see. Of course we are peace-loving. But when all these 3 aspects of establishing peace fails, Hindus generally, Sanatana Dharma or even India is not averse to using a war as the last medium to establish Dharma. And so our Bhagavan Sri Krishna also tries all these 3 before everything failed for Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And finally war was the only resort. So our Yudhishthira wanted to send an ambassador, an emissary. And while he was thinking about it, he thought Krishna would be the right person to be sent. But then our Bhagavan Sri Krishna is of highest divine stature. How can I send him as an emissary? Generally, people don't opt for being an emissary and all in those days. It's always a risky job because, like nowadays, there is no diplomatic protection there. If the king is not very happy with the ambassador, he will cut off his head also. We don't know. And not only for that, but also to send somebody to actually go and negotiate with somebody who is a very arrogant person. Would you send Krishna for that? Was his little concern. But then he understood that Krishna wanted to do that. So when Yudhishthira was discussing, he then called out, everybody was there and he could not see Krishna. So he asked around, is Bhagavan Sri Krishna anywhere around here? You see, Krishna was standing behind Yudhishthira out of respect for Yudhishthira. And instead of saying, I am here, Krishna says, this is available to you all the time. Instead of saying, Ahamasmi, he said, Ayamasmi Mahabhavo. Adiyennu solrom thella. Like that, Bhagavan came and said, this is here for you to serve. And Yudhishthira himself was shaken when Bhagavan uses such a term. And remember, this comes as a spontaneous response from Bhagavan to show the amount of respect he had for Yudhishthira or Dharmaputra. Whatever he will do, he needs to do, he will do for Dharma. That is the love Bhagavan had for Dharmaputra, hence for Dharma. Mahabharata Shlok, I am Asmi Mahabhago. Tell me, I want to do your bidding. Tell me what, how can I be of service? In Hindi they say, Mera lai kuch seva hai kya? Digyapa. Yanakkum kudukra mari seva irka. And our Yudhishthira very hesitantly told that, and Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, I will absolutely do it. You see. And so the first step of trying to avert a war, which is negotiation and peace talks, Bhagavan himself went. If you had sent somebody else, you can disregard. But this is Bhagavan himself coming. And yet he was disregarded. In fact, Duryodhana tried to even imprison Bhagavan. And Bhagavan became our Kanchipuram Pandava Duta. You know, if you have been to Kanchipuram, you will understand what Bhagavan did in the Kaurava Sabha. Huge Perumal we have in Kanchipuram. So that Perumal showed Viswarupa and said, Duryodhana, the soldiers who are trying to attack me is a part of me, look. And look at yourself also within me. You don't try to wag your tail. And I am on my way. And he left. So Sama or negotiations and peace talks failed. What is the next step? Dana. So he went on arguing, if you don't give 50-50 of that kingdom, the original proposal is, look here, ancestral property of Pandavas and Kauravas, chalo, you take 50% of it. But then their father earned a lot of kingdom. We want all that kingdom. Our Yudhishthira himself earned a lot of kingdoms by a Rajasuya Yajna. We want all of that kingdom also. And the ancestral property, take 50-50. Duryodhana said, nothing doing. Then he said, chalo, Pandu brought in lot of new empires to, a lot of new lands to our empire. And ancient Kuru dynasty had some. So let us divide at least these two as half and half and let Yudhishthira won so much lands, let him have that. Nothing doing. Chalo, make it all total, at least 50-50. No. Yudhishthira also gave him the bare minimum negotiating price, they call it. You see. That's the threshold below which you don't negotiate at all. And our Yudhishthira said, let them give at least 5 villages to me. Or let them give me 5 cities with the suburbs, which are the villages around the city. And he named the 3 cities. These are the 3 cities which were loyal to him during Vanavasa or before Vanavasa. So he wanted to make sure that he can serve those people who have shown loyalty. He wanted for gratitude only, not to enjoy luxury. Such was Dharmaputra. And at least he said 5 villages so that we can be on our way. But then our Bhagavan came down. Finally he said, I won't even give you a 5-bedroom flat in town. The Rajas. He said, I won't give you anything. I won't even give you the land equivalent to the tip of a pinhead, said that person. And Bhagavan knew it was all failed. That's it. And then he walked out. So Sama didn't work, Dana didn't work. They didn't say, I want the entire empire. They tried to at least give most of it. In spite of it, war could not be averted, you see. And then came what is called as Dana. Dana didn't work. Finally, Bheda. He understood that Duryodhana's strength is Karna by his side. And Krishna obviously knows that Karna is the 6th Pandava. Karna himself knows that intuitively. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna called Karna. You see, put his hand on his shoulder and said, Karna, come, you drop me in my home. And Karna happily came. Karna is what is called as a hidden devotee of Bhagavan, Guda Bhakta. And he has its faults. In Mahabharata, the beauty is there is no clear black and white there. You see, that's the real world. So if you don't understand reality, don't touch Mahabharata. If you are in a whimsical utopia, don't touch it. You see, if you are ready to be grounded, you are bold enough, as they say here, if you are ready for the truth, go and see. It will be brutal with the truth. It will be brutal with character descriptions. There was once a very beautiful, refined intellectual from the West who read the entire Mahabharata, and they said that it is incredible that such a story ever happened in India. I can't believe it at all. Then he said, if somebody imagined the whole story, it is even more incredible. You see? So I think it really happened. The character sketches are all, nobody can even think about it. And Vyasa Bhagavan Vyacha Uchishtam Jagat Sarva. He knew everything. So he painted the character of everybody. Everybody has a gray area, everywhere. And so your Karna was very eternally indebted to Duryodhana. When it comes to Dharma, actually speaking, as in Ramayana, like even Kumbhakarna was very indebted to Ravana, so was Vibhishana. But when it came to Dharma, Vibhishana took a stance, Kumbhakarna took a stance. He said, right or wrong, brother, I know you are wrong, yet I will be with you. You see. But Vibhishana said, I tried my level best to correct my brother, but if he is not in the path of Dharma, Guru nasasyat, Swajano nasasyat, it's called Bhagavata Dharma. This is normal Dharma, means obey your father, obey your mother, whatever they say. Suppose the father gives, $500 and so goes to Las Vegas and gamble and come back. Would you follow? What Dharma would you follow, you tell me? If the father himself is pouring something in the glass and say, drink it, what Dharma will you follow? Then you are ready for something called a higher Dharma, called Bhagavata Dharma. It is not destroying the normal Dharma, it fulfills it as a special case. For example, Prahalada is the Bhagavata of the highest order. Whatever his father bid him to do, he did. When the father said, drink poison, he drank poison. He said, show your head to an elephant, he showed his head to the elephant. But then when the father said, don't chant Narayana Nama, that he didn't obey. Because it is not in the right of the father to come in my right of way towards divinity, because father is supposed to sustain my spiritual life. A mother is supposed to nourish my spiritual life. Idallam purinjadhan, you will know the difference between Samanya Dharma and Visesha Dharma, which is Bhagavata Dharma. So you will show both the paths there, you see. And so our Karna wanted to stick to Samanya Dharma, which is, I will not betray my friend, come what may. So Krishna went on talking to him. He said, do you know what? Duryodhana is such a horrible fellow. He is a very ungrateful fellow. And Karna said, Krishna, I know all this. I have been his friend. Even people who work for him, he does not even pay salary properly to those people. I know very well who he is. It's not that he is a friend because he is good or bad. When I was in need, he was the one who gave me the throne. Nobody else was there. Everybody insulted me. I will never forget that gratitude for Duryodhana. And he said, so I can't come and join the Pandavas. And Krishna said, actually Karna, you are part of the Pandavas. He said, I know that very well. The moment I saw all of them and Kunti Devi, I know she is my mother. Why did he not reveal now? Why should I reveal? She should come and say, you are my son. Till that day comes, I won't tell who I am. For me, my father is only Surya Bhagavan. That's all is required for me. You see. And then he said, Krishna, you tell me, would you respect me if I betray my friend? Krishna patted his shoulder and said, you be on your way. Wait a minute. He liked that. Then Bhagavan is a Rasika. You see. Bhagavan has no resentment, obviously. Even Bhagavatas don't have resentment. Why would Bhagavan have resentment? And having resentment is self-defeating. You see, when you are resenting somebody or hating somebody, what are you doing? You are damaging your own self. One lovely, I think, Surgeon General of America, some 20 years back, gave a lovely speech. I heard it. In that she says that having resentment towards somebody is you bite into the bitter gourd and hope the other person's tongue becomes bitter. How will it work? You constantly hate somebody, complain about somebody, gossip about somebody and curse somebody in your heart. Who is the affected party? You are throwing garbage on yourself, you see. That person is happily getting on the life, you see, whoever he or she is. When you resent somebody, it is self-defeating. And Bhagavatas understand it intelligently, so they don't resent, they don't talk ill of people, because why should I pollute my own heart, you see. And that's why it is so. And our Draupadi, you all know Draupadi, And she had told Bhagavan Sri Krishna that, Krishna, you told me that you will make me tie my hair once more. You see, that I will make my tresses only after completely these Kauravas peoples are all finished. Now you are talking for a peace talk. Krishna said, I am going to do my level best. But Draupadi, what promise I made you will only come true. This is Bhagavan. There is a human element, there is a divine element. Both are together. To understand Bhagavan as Bhagavan takes no skill at all. If you are a devotee, you will understand. To understand humans as humans, koncham kashtam, but somehow you will understand. To see divinity in humans is the starting of spirituality. You see? So you see everything is divine. But to see humanity in Krishna or divinity takes Guru Krupa. Otherwise you won't understand. You will ask a why question only. Why did Krishna go when he knew? Adada, Rasikaniliya, Chirangokar. Rasikas relish the human aspect of Bhagavan. That's the beauty of love. That is the reason why our Bhagavan patted our Karna and then he left Karna. Whatever he do is right. This was what is destined. And Bhagavan tried. And his trying was also genuine. That's the human aspect. But the inner sankalpa that dharma has to be protected now, people who are arrogant, who are against dharma, who come in the way of dharmic people has to be eliminated now. That's also true. If you understand these two only, you can live with a Mahatma, especially in Avatara Purusha. He will have a human side going on, there will be a divine side, you see. And they will be most practical. If you say I am not well, immediately they will say go and do health checkup, the human side odinrukum. But deep inside they know what is wrong and what needs to be corrected, you see. They would not annul one for the other because they want all this to happen parallel. You can understand Krishna, you can understand great Mahatma. And so Krishna left Karna, but then see the amount of effort Krishna is taking. He goes to Kunti Devi and he tells Kunti Devi, why don't you talk to Karna? Tomorrow is Sunday. And on a Sunday he actually does Surya Puja because it's Ravivaram. And after Surya Puja, he gives dana to everybody. You also stand as if to take dana. Already Indra came and took off all his protection armor, everything. Turn over, you see. And charitable person would always have problems. Yet he will stick to charity. That is the beauty of the person because that is what Krishna would like in that person finally. So our Kunti Devi is also standing along with the other beggars. The queen of Pandavas. Queen mother, standing there. And Karna finished all that. He gave all his danas to all those Vedic Pandits, etc. He saw Queen Mother. And he said, Maharani, Kunti Devi, not Amma, what are you doing out here? He says, Karna, you are my son. I say, I know that. Now you tell me what you want. You have come at a time when I want to give you something. What do you want? You joined the Pandavas. Bhagavan, train, you see. But then he said, I've already spoken to Krishna, I can't join. But you have come and asked me something, I have to give you something. I will tell you one thing. And again Krishna gave the bare minimum negotiation. He said, let him fight only Arjuna. If Karna fights others in the actual bow and arrow, he would finish all the other four, including Bhima he will finish. Because he has the valor when it comes to archery. If you ask me, this is my impression, he is almost equal to Arjuna. To tell a little extra, he is a little better than Arjuna actually in the raw talent of archery. And our Bhagavan wanted to make sure that he was with Arjuna and he knew how to take care of Arjuna. And so he told Kunti Devi, bare minimum you negotiate, he should fight only one Pandava. And that's what he agreed. He said, always there will be only 5 Pandavas. If I kill Arjuna, I will be alive. And you can say, count me in the Pandavas. If Arjuna kills me, you still have the Pancha Pandava. This is the bare minimum I can give you. Kunti Devi accepted it, shed tears of joy and left. You see. So Bhagavan did not do any warmongering. You see. He tried his level best to avert a war. It was Duryodhana's arrogance, greed and whatever. You see, absolute resentment, not even greed. What will he lose if he gives 5 villages with a big empire? It is just resentment that they should not live. It is called Matsarya, which means absolute. I can't tolerate somebody becoming an equal is a great guna of Duryodhana. Originally his name is Suyodhana. You see, he got the name Duryodhana. You see, the Durungarada means something bad, isn't it? So many times in Bhagavatam, Suyodhana na varudhu. So I think Duryodhana is what he made of life. Suyodhana what he was born with. You see, the name. Anyway, so this is how Bhagavan created the best efforts he did to make sure to avoid the war. He could not avoid the war. And the war happened. And the beauty with Karna and beauty with our Arjuna is, our Karna needed to have a charioteer. No, the charioteer is as important. The driver is as important as the warrior. You see. And so our Duryodhana was requested by Karna, I want some really good charioteer. I don't want charioteer from the charioteer club. I want a charioteer from a warrior class. You see. Who would actually do that, you see. But then he said there is a person called Shalya, but he is related to Pandavas. Somehow trick him into joining us, making my charioteer. Let me see who can vanquish me. He did trickery. Na? So Shalya was coming along to actually join the Pandavas. They made a camp appear as if it's a Pandava camp, fed him very well, made him very pleased, and got a word from him saying that, tell me what can I do for your Raja. He thought it was Yudhishthira. He said, we want to, of course, you to join our Raja. He says, I give my word, I will join your Raja. Call your Raja. Duryodhana appears there. And Shalya felt, what I have done? I have given my... Such was the importance of giving a word, you see. It is like a legal document, vak. And so he had to join. And now, out of courtesy, he goes to Pandavas to say, look here, I've been tricked into joining Kauravas, I'm very sorry. But the moment you start fighting for Kauravas, nothing would be spared. You see, that's the warrior thing. You know, you forget all your normal social morals of this day. Appa war na, you see. Bhishmacharya is the one who put Arjuna in his lap, he put Bhima in his lap and made them grow. Tremendous love for all of them. But when it comes to war, he won't spare a single arrow on them. இது ஒரு அழகான சத்திரிய தர்மா இதெல்லாம் நமக்கு புரியாது அப்படியே விட்டுருணும் just understand that we don't understand அது ஒரு அழகு தான் அதெல்லாம் ஒரு warrior class we are lacking that warrior class code of conduct type of people nowadays, so it's difficult for us to understand அது ஒரு culture. And so what happens is this Shalya, the Raja Shalya, comes because he is like an uncle to all these Pandavas. So when Shalya came and he went to Yudhishthira, Krishna called Yudhishthira aside and said he can still be of use even in the opposite camp. You see. So he told Yudhishthira, this is what you need to ask of him. He has been tricked. And you don't take the high road when everybody is taking the subway. You won't win. You see, if somebody takes the subway, meet him in the subway. இதுதான் கிருஷ்ணருடைய ஒரு தத்பரியம். ராமர் தாத்பரியம் நீ எங்க போனாலும் நான் மேலே இருந்தால் சண்டை போடுவேன். அது வேற யுகம். You see, this is almost Kali Yuga. And Duryodhana is very epitome of Kali. So you can't play straight when the other person is not playing straight. This is the essence of Mahabharata. Be practical. If somebody using trickery, by all means use the opposite trickery to annul it because you are fighting for Dharma. And so Bhagavan told him, you convince Shalya to demotivate or to enervate our Karna. Constantly you should be talking negative things. You are useless. And our Arjuna is a great warrior. You are a rat. He is a cat. You see? Something like that. He actually says that if you read Mahabharata, he would say he is a lion. You are merely a bandikutu. You are just a rat. How dare a rat go and fight with a lion? He keeps talking, making all sorts. So Bhagavan says, just keep on giving him negative words. And whatever is his full talent is will be reduced drastically if somebody keeps on saying, and so that is how the war starts. Karna is waiting to jump into the war, but he had a little tiff with Bhishmacharya, difference of opinion. So he said, until Bhishmacharya is there, I won't fight. And Bhishmacharya was, vanquished in the 10th day or so. And so he is now coming with all vigor. All his life he has been waiting for the war. You may think, why would somebody be so enthusiastic about war? Imagine this. Suppose you are a chess champion and you have been training for 10 years to meet a grandmaster to get a title. Won't you be looking forward to it? If you are a real sports person, you won't be afraid of it, right? You wouldn't say, you see. And you won't do like that. You are waiting because you are confident. You think I can give a good match. When you are like that, you will jump into the arena with all your energy. Karna came like that. That's how he started his war. The 10th day, 11th day. And Arjuna, when he started the war, you all know what happened. You see, he dropped his Gandiva. He started getting, wet hands and he was sweating all around. The hands are trembling. And suddenly he thought it is better to beg than to fight. And he says, what is the point, Krishna? It is my grandfather, grandmother. He started looking at all these people and he started trembling. And this is how Arjuna starts the war. With absolutely zero motivation. He doesn't want to fight again. Karna for the whole life has been looking forward to fight with Arjuna to prove his name. He is filled with tremendous energy. And look at this, these two warriors, almost same. One warrior is jumping into the war field with tremendous energy. Another warrior has lost all the energy, ready to even run away from the battle. What made the difference was the charioteer, you see. And there was Shalya constantly pull him down. How can Adharma win? Only Dharma will win. You are on the side of Adharma, you are on the side of Duryodhana, you will never win. And Arjuna, do you know who his guru is? He's reminding all this. And do you know who your guru is? Your guru is Parashurama. Remember what he actually cursed you. When the time comes when you need it the most, you will forget it because you betrayed Parashurama. How can you ever win? So here our Karna over time, became lower and lower in spirit. And Krishna is motivating Arjuna saying, hey, this war is not your personal war. You have a duty, my son. You have taken this. So many people contributed to what you are here. You think you are a self-made man? It's not true. Nobody is a self-made man. Who fed you when you were a child, helpless, crawling around? You see? Who actually taught you words when you are lisping? So nobody is a self-made man. You have a responsibility to the family. You have the responsibility to your community. You have responsibility to your religion and the rishis, you see. You have responsibility to the land which gave you money out here. Of course you have responsibility to this country. You have responsibility to your heritage. So don't be hypnotized by all this, you are all by yourself and only your success matters. You will have a very miserable life. So Bhagavan reminds him, it is not, just am I doing the right thing individually? This is Dharma, this is Adharma. And what you are doing, you are taking an emotional decision right now. You are now infatuated. Obviously, you are not thinking straight. And look at this. Suppose you run away from the war, your intention may be very benign. You may say, I will not fight. I will wear a garb of a beggar and I will go for alms. Tomorrow, people will say, Arjuna ran out of fear of confronting Duryodhana. When somebody shouts like that in the street, you know what will you do? You will take a stick and ready to come back. Bhavati Bhiksham Devi Tharlana Bhavati Ida Bhiksha. So there is basically a nature, Arjuna does not have a begging nature. You see? And the nature is there for some other set of people. If they go and beg, come what insults may, they will say Manam, Avamanam, everything is same for me. That's a mindset. You don't have that mindset, Arjuna. You are now taking a decision. Tomorrow when people taunt you, you can't brook it. You see? You will take a weapon then. It will be too late. And even if you lose the war, you will have a wonderful, death of a great warrior and, heavens are waiting for you. So, motivation. And then Arjuna kept on asking. Now he forgot about all the war. When you are sitting in the battlefield, he is asking. The arrows are almost, put on the bow, ready to be discharged. So he asked Atma Tattvam. Because this is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. That unless you understand the grand purpose, you cannot follow Dharma. If it is only filling your tummy or finding acceptance in the society, how can you follow Dharma? Bhagavan is raising the purpose to the highest level, perspective to the highest level, saying this is what you are. You are that consciousness. You are neither burnt, nor destroyed, nor wetted, nor hurt by anything. This is what you really are. Don't be hypnotized by all these outer appearances. This is Dharma. When you go in Dharma, you will find that fulfillment inside. And he tells our Arjuna to fight. And Arjuna is convinced. And Krishna protects Arjuna in all possible ways. Incredible. And that is why Bhagavan, very beautifully, even before the war began, the result was taken care by Bhagavan. This is the beauty of Bhagavata Dharma. In the Bhagavata Dharma, even before you write the exam, you get the grades. I'm not kidding. You see, that is the beauty of acceptance of Bhagavan. You see, some professors in America, I believe, tried it. You see, they were, I think, in art appreciation program for a very technical university, and you need to just pass that stuff. So obviously, hardcore bankers, hardcore engineers, hardcore medical professionals has to sit down, look at some piece of colors played around the canvas and say, do you see this? They are half asleep or already thinking about their next test, you see. So most of them got a C only. And those two professors thought, let me try a new approach. So next batch when they came in, they said attendance is mandatory, but here is a grade for you. Everybody gets an A. Don't worry. So don't worry about the exams, but pay attention to what we are doing, because appreciation cannot be done under pressure. You see, look at the Grand Canyon. You are already under pressure. You will be busy seeing your phone for results, whatever MSAT or MPAT or own part to pay. But when you are free of mind, only you can appreciate. Na? When the mind is free, you can appreciate. Otherwise, even when you are walking the most picturesque park, your mind is preoccupied about tomorrow's bread or maybe tomorrow's promotion or whatever it is. How can you appreciate something when you are already stressed or anxious about a result, which is, a means for my life? So here they understood the principle of Bhagavata Dharma. They said, don't worry about the result, you are A. You come and just attend to our class. And now they had no problems at all. They didn't have to take notes. And so they came, enjoyed the appreciation class, really. Because they said, actually, 1 hour break for us. Let us enjoy. And in the end of the semester, when they actually gave a test, everybody actually got an A. You see what I'm saying? Because the anxiety was taken off, the stress was taken off, and whole idea was appreciation. There was no shoulds at all. There were only a coulds, you see. And so people were free to appreciate, and they actually became good art appreciators. That is the beauty of Samanya Dharma versus Bhagavata Dharma. Both are same Dharma, two perspectives. Samanya Dharma says if you pass the exam, you get the result. The reward is after your exam, you see. Which means if you write properly, you will get good grade. If you don't write properly, bad grades. But Bhagavata Dharma takes a radical approach. You said, Hare Rama Vansa, Kavalapadath, you are taken care. Now live a life as if you are taken care. You see what I am saying? And generally, though I am saying hypothetically, if you come to a feet of a Mahatma, I assure you from my own personal experience, you would be convinced that my life is taken care on a very broad sense. I need to fight small battles, but war is won, you see. Of course, I need to find out what I need to do tomorrow. If there is a flight cancelled, what do I do to find as next? Other than I have to take care, you see. If somebody suddenly throws a question, how do I answer it? All that I have to take care. But then, overall, my life is taken care. Is Bhagavata Dharma. Because the trust is not in my karma. Trust is not in my intelligence alone. Trust is not in my efforts alone. Trust is in Bhagavat Krupa. The beauty of Bhagavan's compassion. How do I develop it? Satsangam. As you keep listening. If you keep on listening Nastikavada or atheism, obviously over time you will have your own doubts. If you keep on listening to Bhakti Pravachanam, you will have your own Bhakti flowering. It is all in Shravanam, you see. As you listen, so you become. As you speak, so you become. As you think, so you become. And so these three things are the basic elements of Bhagavata Dharma. Tasmaat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi. First step is Shrotavyascha. Listen. Second step, Kirtitavyascha. Whatever you listen, you repeat either as a song or some lecture. And Smartavyascha. If you do Smaranam, what you listen, what you speak over time will sit in your heart. And it will be natural. You don't have to, with great difficulty, close your eyes and all that. And Chittam Sukhena Bhavata Apagrikham Griheshu. Gopis are saying, keep listening to Krishna Katha. Automatically you get lovely thoughts about Krishna in your heart. That is called Smaranam. Sukhena Smaranam. And so here, very beautifully, these three are the ones of Bhagavata Dharma. So when you go to a satsang and realize Bhagavan's Krupa, you will feel I am taken care. You see, that's the compassion of Bhagavan. You start relying on compassion of Bhagavan. Bhagavan consciousness ஒரு பக்கம் இருக்கட்டும். But that consciousness is also Bhagavan. And Bhagavan has Krupa. Satyam. It's not something we need to imagine. Satyam. Only we need to be ready to receive that Krupa and look forward to that Krupa. Tattenu kampam su samikshamanaha, says Brahmaji. Always wait for Krupa and aspire for Krupa, pray for Krupa, that's enough. So these professors, I was so happy that they actually implemented a Bhagavata Dharma principle. So whenever you go to a real Mahatma, whether it is Kanchi Mahaperiva, or our own Swamiji, or Sri Anna, or Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Maharaj, or Sri Rananandar, many mothers, they do what they should never do. You should never complain about a child in front of the child. Never complain at all, first of all. Especially in the front of a child to a Mahatma. So many times you do that. You bring your child before our Swamiji. I have always seen Swamiji patting the child. And the is the blessing, you see. And when he pats the child will actually start studying well, getting more serious. This is the power of a Mahatma. He gives a little bit of his penance to anybody who comes in there. Who comes for darshan, namakke theriyadu how it is changing our life. But what darshana deva sadhava says our shastras, that everything is attained just by the darshan of a Mahatma. He will never say, ablam pannadinga, wow, kar na advice tharren. They will make the child proper. They will channelize the child. Alda Mahatma, you see. And so here in Bhagavata Dharma, there is no should and all that stuff. Over time, when you associate yourself with Mahatmas, associate yourself with a living, realized soul, you will understand that. Then you realize, my life is taken care. You see. You see. And you will realize one interesting thing which I learnt in America. There was this Saptah 7 books, there was a series called Hari Butter's Adventures. Okay, you must have heard Harry Potter. So, that's Saptah, 7 books are there. So, when I was there, one of these girls, they went to buy the 7th volume. And they say, can you please come with us, Annan? This girl, which must be hardly 10-12 years old, she already finished all the 6 volumes. 7th volume is released. She came with me in the car. She jumped out, went to the bookstore, took that packaged book the first day or something, so she tore it. Narasimha. She was so anxious to read it. And then even before she got into the car, she's getting in the car while reading. She sat on the back seat. And I looked back and I was surprised. Super reader. She was already in the last chapter. You see, I said, I am reading the last chapter first. I want to know whether Hari Butter lives or not. The moment I know he is living, I can nimmadhiya read the whole book. And I was shocked. I saw not a little girl telling me, I saw my guru speaking to me the essence of Bhagavata Dharma, which is, once the last chapter is taken care, won't you enjoy the whole book? If the whole book is Harry Butter went on walking, he sat down, he ate, he slept in a padipela. There has to be a twist, you see. And you will enjoy all the twists in the book. And that's what you expect. It will be boring. Boring is not bad, as I told you in the first chapter. So let me reiterate that. Like that, Bhagavan will make our life very interesting. But then when you are in a satsang of a Mahatma, you will realize the last chapter is taken care. This is Bhagavata Dharma. That the last chapter I am going to go to Krishna. I am going to let me do whatever I want to do. Let me follow all my dreams, whatever it is. But then I will be convinced my last chapter is taken care. I don't have to worry about it. When the last chapter is taken care, I can enjoy the entire novel of my life without any deep concern. Of course, I will have surfacial concerns. I will have surfacial tensions. But deep inside, I don't feel insecure. Deep inside, I know it's taken care. This is the power of Bhagavata Dharma. Once you start realizing the compassion of Bhagavan, compassion of Mahatmas, compassion of a Guru, it empowers you to lead a life which, and you will actually be ready when you are, they actually deserved it. Because you won't chant out of fear or a hope that, chanting is punyam, when you do. It is, how it is like, a mother is feeding the child. First ball of rice, urunda she will put. Would anybody feed the child, telling the child, when you become big, you have to feed me? They won't do that. Why? Because mother has a joy in feeding the child in itself. It is called autotelic activity. Swayam prayojanatiki English word. Autotelic, which means the activity itself is enjoyable. Activity itself is an end in itself. It's not a means to something else. Mother's love, father's love also. He is autotelic in nature. Imagine that when you do puja, you are in Bhagavata Dharma. The mother will feel so grateful. I have a child to actually, coddle. I have a child to take care. I have Mama lalabhyamanasya putramnu gettar. Our Dasharatha is praying for a child only to cuddle the child. He is not worried about somebody has to take the reins of Ayodhya. Secondary. But the reason why he asks, says Ramayana, Mama lalabhyaman. So lalana means to actually, take care, cuddle or whatever names you have. Konjatku vere labatela English problem. And so, imagine that activity end in itself. Think about it as a fruit of my past activities. You will enjoy it now. None of these children will ever take eating ice cream as a chore. Hey, stop it! Eat ice cream. Take your time and eat ice cream. Stop it, Papa. நீ யாரும் சொல்லுவாடா அந்த மாதிரி உட்காந்து நாமா சொல்லுன்னா அதோ ஐஸ்கிரீம் அப்படி சாப்பிடவும் வைக்கலாம். You see, it's only in how you habituate. Na? You can make ice cream a punishment also. Na? If you say, when you do all this, here is ice cream, soft. Over time, the child will start hating ice creams. You see. Likewise, our Sri Anna says, Prema mane nama mithai. This nama is mithai. And so, that's why our Swamiji very beautifully, when somebody came and asked him, he gave Diksha. Our Diksha is not elaborated, no condition at all. That's beauty with our Satsang or any Bhagavata Dharma, Satsang of Mahatmas, the condition is padamata. They won't say, this is what you need to eat, this is what you need to dress, this is when you need to chant. This is a style, you see. This is the style. It's a style. This is Bhagavata Dharma, Krupa style. The Mahatma has complete confidence in one word. Tesham aham samuddarta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. So Mahatma, our Swamiji, was once approached by a person who came for Namadiksha. Namadiksha happens very casually. He would say a chant and he will give his guru's dhyana shloka. He remembers the guru and as a tradition, as a lineage, he gives that Hare Rama to that person. Person got it, then he had a question.